So, Watch Dogs is like Nintendogs. It's kind of like a pet simulator, you know, where you watch dogs. Am I correct?
Everyone's being watched for sure, definitely.
Yeah. Especially the dogs in the cages.
We are all living in cages in a way, yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
So the cages is technology and information, and one day I think we'll understand what it really means. So,
great, and I mean, when you look at the fact that he can hack everything, he can hack those cages open for those dogs to be let free.
Or you can live happily into them if you want.
Oh,
that's
great.
your choice.
Oh,
really.
Ubisoft Romania, they're working on the Wii U version.
Yes.
Why's that?
They're really good at it. They had a lot of previous experience with Wii U, so they were the best choice to make something solid out of our game. Yeah.
And I mean, the Wii U version, we've heard rumors that you know, it doesn't look as bad as the PS3 or Xbox 360 version. It's a little bit better. Well, but it's not the Xbox One or PS4. I mean, what's the scenario?
I think it's going to be as good as the tech allows it to be. To be honest, I mean, obviously we're pushing the tech of all these games as far as we can, and to create a really, you know, similar experience. We're not trying to make different games out of it. It's the same game, but you're right. There's different technology here. We're just going to push it as much as we can, and they have a lot of experience with the Wii U, so that's the good thing.
So technically speaking, in terms of graphics and stuff, it does look a little bit better. It does push the.
It's actually pretty strong. The Wii U. It's pretty strong.
So some untapped potential.
Yeah, it's almost as strong. I mean, it's stronger than the current generation.
Yeah.
But not as strong as the next gen. So it should be nice. Yeah.
Okay, great.
And are we going to be looking at basically just a different way to sort your inventory, or what sort of thing are we looking at the tab?
Yeah, we will mainly managing the map differently, so having a little more access to your, say, out-of-game information, which is exactly that, yeah. So a little more access to these things, easier access to these things, which I guess makes sense because you don't want to layer too many things together, but it's the same game in the end.
No, yeah, same game.
The PC is your lead platform, am I correct?
No, actually, it was we started PC, and then we switched to next gen as soon as we had the next gen.
The tools to do it.
Yeah, but in reality, we have multiple teams working individually on each one. So it's not like they're taking one game and just changing it. There's really every single platform has their own dedicated team that's just working to make it, you know, to pushing the limit as far as we can.
So you got teams for each and every platform. Basically.
Yes, exactly. So they're all different, a lot of different teams.
Wow, so it must be quite a tough one getting them all to work in the same direction.
Well, it's the same game. The good thing is we're not trying to say that, you know, this platform has a different gameplay. No, it's the same game. So that helps a lot. You know?
Okay, cool. Then there's rumors going around that Ubisoft is developing a Watch Dogs film. What can you tell us about that?
Watch Dogs what?
Film.
Film? I've heard about that as well.
So you know as much of it as what we do.
I mean, I'm building the game, and there's a lot of projects on the side that I'm not directly involved in. I'm pretty sure we're at the same place here. It would be cool, but unfortunately I don't know too many details about it.
Yeah, judging from the gameplay trailers and the actual video content, it could be quite a good plot for a movie.
I think so too. I think so. There's a lot of depth. I think the theme of the game is very actual. It's very real, and the interesting thing is reality caught up to us.
Yeah.
You know, Prism and, you know, the smart cities are coming. If you look at, you know, big companies like IBM, they're building software to do exactly that. We had heard of these, and, you know, we were anticipating them, but it's catching up super fast. So this is coming.
Yeah, well, it's becoming one and the same.
Privacy invasion, you know, social media, people using social media information in context that you don't expect, you know, data tracking. These are all real. You know, if you go, if you do some search, you pop up in your browser and like, wow, like different programs seem to be communicating together because you're offered things on some programs that you did search on other platforms, which is really interesting. So there seems to be interconnectivity there that is a bit hard to understand, you know. But
tell me, one other question I have is, in terms of going back to the app and that, is there any...
The companion, the SteelOS mobile? Yes.
Is there any plans for smart glass integration, or is it purely iPad and Android based?
Right now it's iOS and Android, so
Yeah.
I don't have any details about the smart glass, unfortunately. But we want to support those two, and anything that's, I guess, powerful enough to.
And the Vita, is there any plans to incorporate that with PS4 at all?
We just want to support Vita,
Yeah.
but it's not going to be a different game. We want to support the tech that's being offered.
Tech in order to
Yeah.
incorporate it
To
with
make-
Incorporate the
PS4
tech.
or- yeah.
But it's not. There's not a Watch Dogs Vita version.
No.
That's what we
We were saying, like a sort of its own little mini iPad. to
Exactly.
the
We want to
PS4,
support everything PlayStation is going to offer there, definitely. Yeah.
Okay, cool. And the last question that I have, is there anything we should have asked that you should be telling us?
I think you asked the right questions. I think the big themes of the game, which is the seamless gameplay, that's very new. I also think we're offering a very different connectivity experience. You know, being in Watch Dogs, we're trying to break that open world, I guess, paradigm where you have streets and walls and people are basically void of context. We're trying to have a lot of depth. Every civilian has their own story. You know, it's all generated by the game engine, but every civilian is unique and they can trigger missions, and these things can lead to gameplay. So it's basically, it's not, there's always a point. There are some side missions and all that, but the city is alive. You know, we have crime detection going on. So it's not only about
The city's monitoring you constantly.
exactly. It's not only about you starting things. Is the city and the multiplayer and the online are also engaging things while you're there on you. You know, so there's actually live gameplay that's dynamic. So that's really interesting.
So, great. Okay, well, that sounds like a wonderful game.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hey guys, I'm here at rAge at the PS4 stand, and we're giving away a game to the person who found us on Twitter. Your name is? Henry. Well done, Henry. You bagged yourself a copy of Twisted Metal. Enjoy it. Yeah, yeah, cool. You're gonna enjoy that.
It's a nice racing game.
Cool. All right, guys.
We'll be dancing. Again, we'll definitely. Yeah. You can have your plates over here. One over here. One of these. Yeah, I love this guy. So we're gonna get away with that in America.
Hi guys, and guess what? We've got another winner here at rAge today. This is David reporting for Gear, and our winner is Tammy, who happened to actually win a ticket via Gear to get to rAge. So I kind of helped him win some games. Tammy, congratulations, dude. You won yourself Final Fantasy 13-2, Remember Me, and Grand Theft Auto 5. So you got some serious gaming to do.
I am. I've got exams, so wow, I'm in bad luck right now.
So what are you saying? Are you going to be failing?
I am going to be failing thanks to GTA 5.
Awesome stuff, dude.
Yeah, man. Thanks, you guys.
No,
Yeah.
it's a pleasure. Cool, man. And tell me, what are you going to be playing first?
I want to leave GTA 5 for last.
For December.
Yeah. I'll start with Final Fantasy.
Cool. You into your fantasy games as well?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome stuff. So you just bought your PS3, you say?
Yeah, like 2 weeks ago.
Awesome stuff, dude.
Yeah.
Well, all the best and enjoy it. We hope you have a good time and come and visit the site as always.
Okay.
Cool, dude.
Cool. So we are sitting here with Daniel from DICE, working on the big new game Battlefield 4. Thank you for making some time with us. A couple of questions. First off, what do you think is the biggest new improvement from Battlefield 3 to Battlefield 4?
Wow, new improvements. I can tell you about the improvements with an S.
Cool.
So the biggest improvements, I would say, well, first off, Frostbite 3, new engine, doing things that we dreamt about 10 years ago. Looking at how we network waves through Frostbite, for instance, how the waves feel like a roller coaster when you're driving through with your big boats. Dynamic weather changes, really cool. With that also, we introduced something called Levolution, which is player triggered. You take down skyscrapers in multiplayer, you break a levee, so the whole map floods. So the dynamic battle just continues basically, and I would also say the micro moments in Levolution are pretty interesting. It's not just the big pieces coming down; it's also switching up power to an elevator or activating ballers. You just change the gameplay around. So I think that's one of the coolest things. Also reaching out to our console players more this time around, integrating Battlelog into console. 360, PS3, Xbox One, PS4, PC. That's a long sentence right there. But for all our players. Commander mode on RTS element coming back. I was a terrible commander in Battlefield 2, so I'm gonna do better in Battlefield 4. Let me tell you why. Because you no longer spawn on the battlefield. That's why. I was terrible. I used to hide in bushes, get knifed, naded, or whatever. But this time you don't spawn on the battlefield. This time you're just a commander. You focus on your operational assets, vehicle scan, infantry scan, UAVs, EMP the other commander. If you're really good, you get to drop vehicle supplies and vehicle drops and supply drops. Also the tactical element to the squads as well. You know, the big team play thing. It's always been in the Battlefield. I would say with Battlefield 4, we really pushed ourselves into that direction. The team play is super important. What can we do? So tying into commander is that the commander basically gives you an idea of where to go. It tells you to go right here, grab that capture point. I want exactly. I want the tomahawk. So you move your squad towards that, and when you capture a flag with your squad, not only does the commander get the tomahawk when it's that capture point, but the squad also progresses in the squad bar. So you use specializations more. It just teaches you that, you know, squad play is important. I'm really happy about what we've done with teamwork in Battlefield 4 this time around. Yeah, it's really cool. You can still lone wolf, but you know, Battlefield's all about team play.
That's the thing. Let's talk about destruction. I know with Battlefield 3 you could blow up quite a bit of the level, you know. With 4 it's been taken up a bit, but you can't quite destroy everything just yet. What was the choice to not go that route?
So let's take a map as Siege of Shanghai, for example. I mean, big map, beautiful map. You take down the skyscraper. There are a lot of there are a lot of elements that you can destroy, and it would be random destruction. It won't destroy the same way all over again. Also the micro things, you know, putting out fire extinguishers to just smoke up the whole lobby and the subway. So one of the things we thought about there is that it's an all-out war map. So that's the best example. You've got naval warfare, you've got helis, you got tanks, you got a lot of explosiveness in that map. If you would have a map where all the destruction just flattens, it would be very difficult for the infantry players to counter air vehicles.
Pretty boring.
Yes, it would be very difficult for infantry players to only counter. So you would only have an engineer to vehicle balance.
Yeah.
Whereas we want players to enjoy everything.
Yeah.
From resupply to heal and all that kind of stuff. So I think it's a conscious decision we've been making.
Yeah.
Looking back at even BC2, where we saw that everything got destroyed and there was, you know, nowhere to hide really. Because that's kind of the key of the battle as well. You know, to pick your spots as well. So. We're happy with the destruction of Battlefield 4, and it's just, you know, going to get better. So.
I know with Battlefield 3 there was a lot of talk about dinosaurs. Maybe, you know, with the DLC, you know, a couple of Easter eggs.
Yeah.
Can we expect something like that in Battlefield 4?
We'll see about that. I mean, we had the cool Easter egg with the Tyrannosaurus head and that kind of stuff on Alborz Mountains. We'll see. I mean, our team they love dinosaurs, and they know that people love dinosaurs. So they love teasing. So, so we'll see.
In terms of amount of players on map, I know it's 64 at the moment. Maybe Battlefield 5, are we looking at going double that?
First off, for Battlefield 4, and then, you know, 64 players. That's been a Battlefield staple for a long time, and we're super happy with it. I mean, that's the most fun we get to have. We've tested with, you know, more player counts before, and it's just not fun enough. You know, it's just not
64
fun.
is the sweet spot.
64 is the sweet spot because that's how you can fill a server up, and that's kind of the peak of when you fill a server. So we definitely enjoy 64, and Battlefield is going to stay that way.
Then just in terms of what class do you play? What's your favorite?
I just run. I run and gun. That's my.
Your gun? What's your choice?
AK-12 or rAge.
Ooh.
I'm a very simple man. You know, I even iron sights. Fine. I'll run and gun. That's what I do.
Very nice. Okay, I'm gonna hand over to Tim.
Hey man. Okay. First question.
Hello, Tim.
You hold it.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah. I've got some good questions and some pet peeves, so we should probably get to those. Okay. The first thing I noticed in the beta, which seems like an improvement or could be a happy mistake, is in Battlefield 3, teams could snowball quite badly. Say no shot canals, for example, the CRAM on the American side, which could shoot at the helicopter from the whole way across the map, and that would cause. Well, it would cause things to go really badly, really quickly, and it was small things that impeded the fun on some of the maps. So, are you guys going to look at, like, if enough people have an issue with a certain map, or you guys redesign, or not redesign, but move the map? Because we got a lot of. Well, there was a general consensus that you guys did change and balance a lot, but some things didn't move, and it felt like it wasn't that you were being stubborn about it. It's just that Maybe you guys felt it was okay, but then it kind of, the game did snowball, and the gunship as well. That was also a big thing. I mean, are you guys looking into how to make sure not to let things get too out of hand?
Definitely. That's why we go out to shows like this. That's why we've been at E3, Gamescom, Tokyo Game Show, PAX. I think we've been everywhere in the world with Battlefield 4. So that's the best way to catch feedback. I mean, we test in the studio. We play test every day, multiple times per day on multiple platforms to see, you know, what the build looks like, and, you know, what can we get out of this game, and what does it look like right now, and how does it play. But ultimately, that's us in the studio with our mindset. And when we travel out, I mean, a show like this, or Gamescom, for instance, 5 days, packed, all days, huge lines, people play Battlefield 4 for hours. That's the best testing you can get, and that's the best feedback you can get. So, you know, we take the feedback into consideration, and depending on what we feel is the logical fix, we'll definitely do that. And then also looking at telemetry with our feedback. So if we see players are talking about this issue, we go back, look at our telemetry system, and see this actually might lead to that one, then we'll just fix 2 issues instead of 1. So.
That's cool. My next question is, when you talked about iron sights, in Battlefield 3, iron sights were basically like the crappy thing that you had to like get past before you got to the real sights. Is there any advantage having iron sights this time, or is it still going to block half your screen? Because you know, some of them were pretty bad.
Yeah, I mean, some of them were like a tire ring above your face, but for Battlefield 4, that's been fixed. We've redesigned stuff. You know, we made sure that we're taking feedback into consideration, also from the studio when we play. So iron sights, I just think it's easier. I'm not a big scope guy.
Yeah, no.
I don't know why. It's just a personal.
It's just the whole blocking.
Yeah. No. I mean, when you look through an iron sight in real life, it still blocks stuff. You know, it's not as clear as a red dot sight, but you know, it's just give or take. You know, that's what it is. Yeah. I like to play it the old way. So.
Okay, well, then my next question is, I live in vehicles in Battlefield. I probably got 250 or 300 of the 400 hours on vehicles and tanks and attack kilos. So I want to know, you've added a lot of ways to take down tanks and stuff, a lot more ways. So is it just going to be hell for tank drivers, or is there going to be a way to keep yourselves alive without having 18 engineers repairing you? Or because you've given a lot more people C4, so there's going to be a lot more Jeeps coming at us at full speed.
So I mean, looking back at Battlefield, the formula has always been balancing back and forth. So we've taken the middle ground this time and been seeing, okay, so what is vehicles going to do against countering the infantry? So Battlefield is always about countering, and I mean, it's always a thin balance. It's always a fine balance that we can only get tested when the game is finally out. But yeah, definitely. I mean, they're not supposed to feel like paper planes, right? They're supposed to feel like tanks. But we also want to make it fun to play in a tank, fun to play as infantry, not super difficult. You're not firing at a rock, you're actually firing at an engine. Different spots to fire on, so it breaks, that kind of, we know this stuff, here's your vehicle player. But yeah, just feedback, taking that into consideration, and going forward from the beta, what can we improve, what can we make better? I mean, releasing a game today or 3 years ago isn't the same thing as releasing it 10 years ago, because people expect updates to the game. I mean, buying a game today, you buy a game, yes, but you also buy a service for the game, because you expect things to be fixed, you expect DLCs, and I think that's a mindset we've taken with us throughout, Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4, BC2, these past few years, and I just think it's going to get better. So.
I've got one more question, and this probably resonates with quite a few people. In Battlefield 3, when you get a level 100 Jet Pro in the server, and he can wreck the server, I am perfectly happy with having teamwork, but obviously it's a lot of times where you can say, okay guys, we need more stingers or whatever, and no one's going to listen to you because they've on their own mission, and it felt like the attack kilo wasn't really good enough, and it kind of got nerfed out of contention. So those kinds of things, I felt like that's what the assault and stealth jets are for. What are the differences? Is one specifically for taking on air and one specifically for taking on ground? Yeah. Because that would mean that there would be more of a balance then as compared to the...
Yeah. I'm not very well rounded in the air vehicles, to be honest. Even in the playtest, I've tried them out, but I fly very poorly. Yeah, I fly like I have one eye or
Stays
something.
in the trenches.
Yeah, it's terrible. So so coming back to the communications issue, I can answer that one. So the communications issue, we've added squad VoIP this time around. So you can actually VoIP with the people in your squad, and if they're annoying, you can mute them as well. So it happens. You're definitely gonna get muted. I'll get muted too. But yeah, so you're able to communicate better with your squad, and as I said before, team play has increased for Battlefield 4. We definitely put a lot of work into that, and post-launch we're coming out with a bunch of cool stuff as well within the expansion pack. So it's just gonna elevate the experience.
I've got 2 more questions. First one, you have not going to tell us what maps you're bringing back from Battlefield 3, are you? I'm sure I know which ones they are. You guys gave enough pictures for me to figure out which maps they are. And the second one, this is got to do with our community. They were asking questions, and in South Africa, of course, our internet is not the best in the world. So, and what are you guys? Is there any way we can guarantee that we're going to have effective servers, or is this all going to have to be dealt with within country? Because obviously, right now with the beta, we're getting stream servers, and our servers are kind of wonky.
The infrastructure in South Africa is not, very good, to say the least. But I think you need to speak to your local server providers. I know Telkom are one of them. Not sure if there are any else. I'm not very well rounded in that. So, but yeah, so I mean, just talk to them. Mention to them that we need this, and to get a good gaming experience. Also for the competitive side here in South Africa, it's good. Just make your voices heard in a nice, polite way, and just talk to them about it. It's.
No, I'm happy.
Is that all? One more, maybe 2 more.
Yeah. Okay. I have one more question from someone who said that that this is the thing that annoyed them most about Battlefield. It's rAge, why did you decide to add, outside of the medkits, you can still get a slow health recovery. Why did you guys decide to not just make it all medkits or nothing? That's just a question someone wanted to ask, and I thought I should ask it.
Easy to answer. What if you're very far away from a medkit, no one has a medkit?
But I think what they were trying to say is, why is it, because Battlefield 2 was more,
why do you have health regen?
It was a lot more hardcore, whereas if you were alone, you shouldn't have been alone in the first place, kind of thing, whereas I'm so assuming Battlefield 4 and 3 it's more.
But I mean this is also a step in the direction of making it easier for our players. I mean, we're not everyone that plays Battlefield 3 has played BF42. Not everyone that's going to play Battlefield 4 has played all the previous titles. Some people might have jumped on last week on the beta.
Yeah.
So it's just to cater to our players, to all of our players, just to give them a brief of this is Battlefield.
Yeah.
And we've done that successfully this time around by implementing something called Testing Ground, where they can get to play around with all the vehicles, all the boats, and all the weapons, grenades, anything you need to play around with. Feel free to do that in the Testing Ground. You have some target shooting as well and that kind of stuff. So just feel free to play around. So it's just making it easier for our players. And we don't. I think at DICE we don't really believe in making things too complicated. I mean, health regen, yes. I mean. So what? It just makes it
believer, and it's useful because I'm 90% an engineer, so I need that health regen.
I'm just thinking, a game doesn't need to be complicated to be good. A game doesn't need to be hardcore to be good. What do you want to achieve with the game?
Yeah.
You want to have fun?
Yeah.
Are you having fun? Yes or no? There you go.
Mods.
No mod support for Battlefield 4, unfortunately. Yeah. I'm just thinking, spending the time making a mod to 4 Frostbites. We'd rather spend that time making new expansion packs, working on new titles. Yeah, working. Yeah, just we need to spend the time working on our own stuff. Maybe if we made a mod tool of our own engine, we would use a mod. Come on. Yeah, no, it's just we need to focus. We need to, you can't do everything, right? I mean,
I suspect you don't want us to add dinosaurs before you guys add dinosaurs.
Just add dinosaurs. That's what we are. Just dinosaurs. One little raptor somewhere hidden away, and I'll be happy. All right. It doesn't have to make a sound. Yeah. Cool. Nothing else?
No, I'm good.
Cool, Daniel. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
and
much.
You can catch Battlefield 4 out on November 1st. It is. I think November 1st worldwide, and we will see you guys online.